Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes Reacts. I'm the Broadheath Flasher.
I'm Office Bloke 9.
I'm the Firestar.
Twisted Firestar. We are the Office Blokes. Two of the YouTube channels, Patreon page, social media, merch, all that good stuff. Click the link below. It'll take you where you need to go, unless you want to buy a hat, because they're not out yet. And we will be the first to let you know. Don't worry, when they're out. What's hidden behind the 2,124,000 square miles of the unexplored Amazon forest?
Trees.
Ooh, trees and animals.
I didn't realise there was that much of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big old place, isn't it?
Yeah, but isn't it shrinking?
Yeah.
I think
through
chopping a load of it down, aren't they? A lot of the time. Yeah, not good.
Should we find out?
Yeah.
Might be dinosaurs for all we know.
Yeah.
Which never existed.
Might be Mike's wallet.
Mike's basketball skills for sure.
Hey, you'd be have a job finding those.
Right, let's do it. So what's hidden behind the 2,124,000 square miles of the unexplored Amazon forest? Try saying that when you're drunk.
To touch the unknown, you don't need to descend to the bottom of the Mariana Trench or climb inside the Pharaoh's tomb. Believe me, all of this pales in comparison to the Amazon rainforest. This huge area is in full view of the whole world, but parts of it still remain unexplored. I tried to find out what was hidden under the dense foliage. I was quite surprised. Now, let's take it all in, one step at a time. Let's start with the river. A little geography so you know what you're dealing with. The Amazon River is the largest river in the world. Most of its basin is covered by rainforest, approximately 5,500,000 square kilometers. That's 2,124,000 square miles. That's more than the area of Spain, France, and Germany combined. It would simply be impossible to fully explore such a huge area. You can't see much from above because the forest is too dense. Wading through it on the ground is excruciatingly difficult. And it's there, deep in the rainforest, where many secrets are hidden. It's not so easy to uncover them, and sometimes it's almost impossible. Forget about the Egyptian pyramids. Here, the secrets have living witnesses. These are tribes cut off from all modern civilization. Tribes that we know almost nothing about. It's not so easy to believe. At first, I wasn't sure either. The territory of the Vale du Javari is considered the least studied, although its area is larger than the size of Austria. It's home to 3,000 indigenous peoples of Brazil. Most of them are connected to the outside world, but there are also uncontacted peoples. They have no connection with modern civilization. They evolve on their own. How? No one has enough information about them. Now there are very few such groups left, and many of them live in the rainforests of the Amazon. Up to 2,000 people are permanently located on the territory of the Vale du Javari. They belong to at least 14 such tribes. People from the outside world almost never come to their settlements, but it's not out of fear of the locals, even if they are hostile. The tribes are officially protected by the Brazilian authorities, so the outside world doesn't harm these hermits. It turns out that exposure to modern humanity has enough disadvantages, and not just because we can teach them bad lessons. Diseases. People who have lived in isolation for centuries are not immune to the diseases we know. Even common measles or rubella could lead to an epidemic. It turns out that interaction with the outside world is a direct threat to their lives.
Imagine that, you'd have to explain to them what diseases are, what vaccines are, vaccinate them for loads of stuff. Like, MMR jab and all that sort of stuff, just for them to be able to survive interacting with your average people.
Bizarre, isn't it? People out there that still
exist like that.
Like any contact with the outside world. Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming one of the problems would be sort of like communicating as well. I mean, probably got their own language, haven't they? Probably just don't speak Brazilian or Portuguese or anything, do they? So, it's amazing, isn't it? It's still. people like that.
There's an island, isn't there, that's got a
Mine's been
tribe on
Simply.
Yeah, we're a bit like that. Untouched from the outside world.
Yeah, there's an island that's people are banned from going to because there's a tribe on there that aren't allowed to be contacted.
Where is it? Is it like Samoa area?
I think it's South America.
Something like that.
No, it's not the Isle of Man. But there's quite a famous story of a preacher who rowed a boat there to go and spread the word of God, and he's not allowed, obviously, and he got hit with loads of arrows before he got off his boat.
Really? Not long ago.
Not long. It's in recent years.
Yeah, I read something about that not long ago.
Yeah, I think it might be.
For some reason, I think it was South Pacific. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be. So there are these people out there still. It's crazy, isn't it? Uncontacted.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to take a Bible to him, like teach him something.
I know. I mean,
go on,
why
mate.
would you?
Bible to anyone.
But scientists still dream of gaining access to uncontacted peoples and studying their culture. What if these people know what's hidden in the depths of the rainforest? Don't think I'm exaggerating. There are really too many mysteries of the Amazon to count. They say there are even traces of an ancient civilization here, a civilization that scientists never learned about. These aren't myths, only real facts, and they send chills up your spine. In 2018, archaeologists managed to discover a unique site in the southwestern part of the Amazon. 81 ancient settlements, including canals, ditches, and other structures, an entire city, or perhaps even a small state. For hundreds of years, it was all hidden in the depths of the Amazon, and no one, including the local residents, even suspected such a treasure. Scientists believe that the settlement existed between 1250 and 1500 AD. They're almost certain that they've stumbled upon the remains of an ancient civilization. There could have been about 1 million people living here, and thus far, we still don't know anything about it. I'm not talking about a few individual structures standing in the forest. Archaeologists have found several hundred structures that look like man-made objects, and they're all connected. Most likely, the inhabitants of this place were actively engaged in agriculture and knew a lot about beautiful ceramics. But
imagine if the rainforests are so prolific because there's millions and millions of people that lived there and died and just sort of rotted into the soil, and then you know what I mean, because there's people have been buried in the UK, for example, for I don't know how long. You know, you wouldn't have people just going back to the earth, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a huge country as well, Brazil, isn't it?
I've seen other things where they've said there's millions of people living in cities and stuff, and it was so much more advanced than we give them credit for France of years ago.
You look at the size of the rainforest, so it's a lot bigger than I thought it was as well.
Huge.
The size of France, Germany, and Spain, was it? Three big countries.
Huge place, isn't it? Absolutely massive.
It's crackers, isn't it?
Yeah, but I suppose a city like that, I reckon there might have been like 1 million people in it. You can only assume that maybe some sort of hideous disease or something wiped them out, maybe, or because you think otherwise it would have spread out and people would have known about it more. But it's like it was a surprise to anyone that it was actually there.
Yeah,
which I find it's just mind blowing, really.
It might have just been unsustainable.
Yeah, maybe.
1 million people, but the agriculture wasn't there yet to feed that many people,
but
and people just had to
sort of like
naturally
go out and explore, don't they? And
I think we might find out.
This is just a grain of information laying on the surface. What will we uncover as we learn more? This sensation has changed our idea of civilization in the tropical regions. Perhaps many parts of North and South America that we consider to be untouched forests are hiding abandoned fields and gardens. This is what archaeologist Christopher Fisher from Colorado State University thinks. According to him, this ancient civilization understood much more about land use than we do. But this 2018 find isn't the only one of its kind. Studying an area where trees used to grow, scientists discovered numerous geoglyphs, drawings made on the ground. 450 geoglyphs have been found in the northern parts of Brazil and Bolivia. These are ditches or embankments in the form of huge geometric shapes. The oldest of these geoglyphs were created between 3,000 and 3,500 years ago. Their purpose is unknown to scientists. Perhaps the geoglyphs were a meeting place for performing rituals or to discuss important issues. We don't know anything about the ancient inhabitants of the Amazon. Even our wildest assumptions could be true. Maybe they were an observatory or even a place for communication with extraterrestrial civilizations. When it comes to hiding secret knowledge, any means will suffice. And when dense forests no longer do the job, then help can come from fire. There are fires in the Amazon forests all the time. Most recently, they started in August 2019, and they occurred in hard-to-reach areas. In total, more than 70,000 flare-ups were recorded.
Wow.
Every year, the area of the fires increases, but the official reason remains the same. Allegedly, people illegally set fire to the forest so they can cut it down, all for the sake of agriculture. But here I'm talking about regions that are difficult to cut down. So who and what is the forest in the way of? Very, very suspicious. Now, let's remember that the Amazon is home to a huge amount of everything. At least 40,000 species of plants, more than 2,000 species of fish, 1,294 species of birds, 427 species of mammals. But why exactly here and not somewhere else? One of the theories claims that where this forest is currently located, there used to be a sea. A study published in Science Advances claims that the Amazon rainforest flooded twice in the early and middle Miocene. The floods lasted for 200 and 400,000 years each. This assumption has been confirmed by unusual findings. For example, shark's teeth were found in Colombia. But when it comes to the mysteries hidden somewhere in the jungle, it's impossible not to think of El Dorado. Yes, El Dorado, the mythical city, state, or possibly an entire empire. A place where there's so much gold and precious stones that everyone could become rich. The history of El Dorado is complicated. Perhaps the myth began with the custom of the Chibcha tribe. The chief was covered in clay and sprinkled with golden sand until he turned into El Dorado, the Golden Man. Gradually, one golden man gave rise to a legend of a whole golden city. European researchers were delighted. They searched for this place for 2 centuries, and some even claimed that they succeeded. There were mysterious maps, and legends constantly evolved with new details. In the end, El Dorado became a metaphor. It became the name of any place where a person could get rich, and the real Golden City was never found. But it could be. Maybe all of these researchers were just looking in the wrong place.
Something, you know, as soon as gold becomes valuable, though, do you not think it all would have disappeared over the centuries?
Not if you can't find it.
But people who knew where it was, the whole thing was probably dismantled, wasn't it?
Yeah.
These scientists need to stop fucking about with like COVID and shit and start looking more into this.
Not sure I agree with that one.
All your resources into El Dorado and that's it. Come on.
There's a reason this has all been there once before and it's not there now.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe this might have the answer to all our vaccination problems.
In that context, you might be right. Actually, what happened to them and why, and is it going to happen to us?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. On the one hand, it all sounds unlikely. But on the other hand, there are still parts of the Amazon jungle that haven't yet been fully explored. Who knows what's hidden among the dense foliage? Perhaps in a couple of years, El Dorado will be found there. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
Enjoyed that.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. It really is.
I love learning about things like that.
Yeah. It just shows, I mean, there probably could be structures or something or there must be things that they haven't found there in the Amazon rainforest.
Absolutely. Well, it's not been...
the fact that it's a forest and there's so much growth there and plant life, it could literally cover anything, you know.
Yeah.
But some of the aerial photography these days is absolutely amazing, isn't it? In space, but even that can't get through the forest, can it?
No,
you know,
not that density.
That can cover absolutely all sorts.
You have thermal imaging and all that kind of stuff now as well, which sort of like give you a little bit better idea, which is why they're finding shit like this out.
Yeah, true, yeah.
I think there's a big push into of all this unexplored footage and photographs of everything just to get people. I think it's been released to the general public and people can just sift through
and go back over it
and try and find anything and then sort of compile all the information.
Well, I think with that, I mean, you see the phrase that you used on there, lungs of the earth. You know, it's obviously got to be protected, the rainforest, from people doing burning it down and knocking it down and whatever and demolishing it. And then you've got things the same with the sea. And I think they're giving you people a bit more education now on what's, you know, parts of the sea have never been explored, haven't they?
Vast amounts of the sea, because it's so difficult to do, isn't it? And a lot of it's so deep. It's just, you know, not everyone can do it.
Yeah, but if we keep performing the way we are as humans, then we're going to fuck it all up.
Oh, absolutely.
If we've not already fucked it up beyond repair.
Yeah.
I know the president of Brazil was kind of implicated in the burning of the rainforests, wasn't he, a couple of years ago. I think if it's that much of a resource for the whole planet, that it needs to be subsidised, and I think all the other countries need to chip in.
I think it might be.
Well, if they can't cut it down for agriculture, because they need to survive too, these people.
That's what they're doing for it. They're doing it. They're thinking, right, I need to feed my family. I need like a...
You know, a lot of it is
covered by people like UNESCO when people are, don't they, do all that kind of stuff?
I'm not sure how it works. I think it is protected. But a lot of it's for palm oil, isn't it? That's why it's being chopped down, which palm oil is in absolutely everything you can imagine.
You use a lot of palm oil, don't you?
Yeah, no,
it's oil on the palm, sorry.
Quite a lot.
Sorry, I get mixed up.
Yeah, sit on it till it goes numb and then oil it up.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Is that your left hand as well?
Both. Takes both. We're talking about a vast surface area here.
Oh, man.
Unexplored mostly.
Unexplored, on my forehead.
No comment on that one.
That spiraled.
Anyway.
It was good that I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
like
really
I say, enjoyed learning about that.
Yeah, it's good.
Hope you guys enjoyed that too. Don't forget, leave us some comments in the comment section about other videos which are similar, we can learn about, which we don't know about. Probably everything, really.
Quite a lot.
Mostly, there's going to be a lot of comments.
We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.